Good evening, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny making a video in my afflicted state. I noticed it's been 22 hours since I made that last video of checking in, and since I'm going to not have much time, well, tomorrow night my wife will be home. She'll be home Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and I just thought I'd make a video tonight. Why not? Hey, I just took a bunch of cough medicine, I took some pills, I brushed my teeth, I'm getting ready to go to bed. I've been up since about 10 to 6. Coughing all day, blowing my nose, hacking, feeling delirious. But hey, like I said, I have this obsession. That's one of the points about this video. I have an obsession about being real, and I don't really know where that obsession came from. About this obsession to always be honest and real, and that's why I always look back. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go into the gospel ministry, or why I would never fit in a traditional evangelical Presbyterian Calvinistic church. I just let it all hang out. And I realized many years ago when I did my internship in Houston, Texas, in a very conservative evangelical Presbyterian church, that it wasn't going to work out. I was just too many rough. I have too many rough edges. I'm just kind of a weirdo. I was never socialized. I didn't grow up in a traditional family environment. I was a wild child. I've always just gone my own way, and I've never accepted the norm. And here I am, going to be 67 years old in August 2019, and can't teach an old dog new tricks. So yeah, it is Wednesday night here in West Michigan. It is June the 5th. It is 9:49 at night. I thank you for those comments on my last video. I know it was pretty sloppy. It was just kind of just put out there spontaneously, like I always do. No editing. I'm just completely I just let it all hang out. I wrote about that video. It kind of bothered me in a way. Any video I make, to be honest, I've made over 1,000 videos in YouTube and BookTube, and I always feel foolish after I post them, because it just, who am I? I'm just this guy out here in the world, here in Michigan, an old guy, and I'm a Christian, and I'm conservative, and I know that my views are not accepted in our secular society, our non-Christian society. And I know that my taste in books is kind of strange because I'm an old guy, and so I think, why do I do this? Why do I put myself in the firing squad? Why do I put myself to have mud thrown in my face? Why do I do it? What is this? But one thing also about making videos, and it goes back to my online diaries. I've mentioned that I have 4 online diaries. Now I just write primarily in LiveJournal. My username is Crooked Fingers, and that's the only place I really am my true self. It's like in the world that I occupy, I can't just be who I really am 100%, because I am so, I don't know, I'm just even, I've been married 40 years. But I know there's a certain limit that my wife can take of me. I mean, my wife is very, she's very positive. She's very friendly and warm and has a great sense of humor, and she's a people person. But I'm the direct opposite. I'm a dark black thundercloud. I'm just really very gloomy, melancholy. I'm very introverted. I am really insecure. I don't feel comfortable around people. I just don't feel accepted by society and culture. Because my views are I know from talking to people and listening to people that my views, if people knew what was inside my head, they would be really, kind of look at me with cross eyes. But I did write about that in my online diary, Crooked Fingers, and this is what I wrote. I wrote this afternoon this is in my online diary. I said, quote, I just copied it off. I was going to put this in my June 2019 diary. I have these little pockets that I put stuff in. These are all emails from this guy that I come in contact with, and he watches my videos, and he's a Christian. He is a minister, and he likes books. He's not married, but he likes books, so we go back and forth. But I wrote this. It is 4:48 p.m. late Wednesday afternoon here in Michigan. The sun is shining. It is 78 degrees presently. It did not rain today. It could rain tonight. I have had a quiet day wandering the house, reading my books, and writing in my paper diary. Soon my wife will get up to get ready to go back to work. It seems nothing really changes from one day to the next. The same dust that is on my desk is the same dust that was on that desk 28 years ago. Everything is covered here inside this house with dust. I'm sure there are people around me who dust at the least sight of dust. I saw our next door neighbor last night power washing his sidewalks. I bet there's no dust anywhere in their little puny lives. There will be dust on their bodies when they are buried in the ground. Dust to dust is the fate of all mankind. How to completely get rid of dust? I find our neighbor's constant battle with dust tragic. I just got delivered to our door by UPS a used book that I had ordered titled Published a Book, the unbelievable true story of how I wrote, sold, and published this very book, a premature memoir by Stephen Markley. Here's the book. I've been reading since last Sunday Markley's novel, Ohio. So this day goes by in a sick, sticky fever. I hope to begin to feel whole again. This coming Saturday, our granddaughter Coralie gets baptized at a local Catholic church. I keep thinking about that last video I made for my YouTube channel. Why do I always paint myself to be so ugly, so messed up? Why can't I just set forth a false image of myself? Why show the world my warts? Why show viewers my failure to conform to the world of the living dead? It is all beyond me, this obsession to be real in a dead world. Carol's getting up and I need to go make a fresh pot of coffee for her. So that's the last thing I wrote in my online diary. And I don't know why. It's always gotten me in trouble. All my life, I've always gotten in trouble for being so out front and speaking my mind. And now I don't do it. I've kind of withdrawn from the world. When I was working, I tell people exactly what I felt and thought. But the people I worked with at the Hamilton Farm Bureau, first of all, they didn't know English. they were either they were from Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, or they were from Mexico. And I would talk to these, and they're really hardworking guys, really, they were really good guys. And I'm not going to speak evil of them, but I would just tell them what was on my mind, and they would just kind of look at me because they didn't understand what I was talking about. I tell them what I was reading in my books, a treatise on true theology. I would just sit there telling them, and then I would, and they would just kind of listen to me, and they didn't know what I was talking about. And I did that for almost 15 years. And I did work with one guy for a period of time, a young guy. He was white, he was uneducated, high school dropout, but the guy hated my guts. I don't know why. He would never talk to me. He would never look me in the face. He would just completely ignore me. I would try to get in some kind of dialogue with him, some kind of conversation, and just be stone silence. He would just glare at me. And he was like 18 years old. And of course, I was in my late 30s. And he didn't want to talk to me. So that's the way it was. And my boss, who I worked for, the plant boss, he was a Christian guy. And he just put up with me. He just put up with my craziness and my complaining and my bitchedness and my weird views about everything. He would listen, and he didn't agree with me, and he would tell me sometimes that's enough. He doesn't want to hear anymore. But he was a good Christian guy, and we had some good talks. But then he got fired, and then I got fired, and that all ended. And then when I was in college and seminary, I really got in trouble sometimes for being outspoken, and I got outspoken. I've always got in trouble because I would eventually I just say what I thought and felt. And now I don't really care. Now I come to a place, hey, I know people don't care what I feel and think, and I'm not going to get myself all in a tither about it. I'm just going to be quiet, live in my little house in this little suburban neighborhood, grow old, love my children, love my grandchildren, try to be nice to them, not to be, come down, really heavy. Just be quiet. We'll talk about things that don't really matter. Don't talk about the really deep things of my soul to anybody except Carol. And what I do in my videos and my online blog. Well, because you don't have to watch my videos, and people don't have to read my online diaries. And they can just say, hey, this guy is a jerk. They put a thumbs down and they unsubscribed. That's just the way it is, and that's cool. I mean, that's that's the way the world is, and that's fine. I'm the same way. I mean, I consider myself very open-minded, but maybe I'm fooling myself. I don't know. So today I did read. I got this late afternoon. Published this book by Stephen Markley. See here, I'm getting sidetracked. I told you in my last video, I put all these books down the lower level. I'm just going to keep a few books out. And here I am getting another book in the mail. And, I thought about putting this down the lower level tonight and just focusing in on reading Ohio by Stephen Markley. I read this pretty much in my 6th state. I've read 115 pages. And see, I got this out of the lower level this morning. I got sidetracked again. A treatise on true theology by Franciscus Junius. This is translated out of the Latin by David C. Knoll. Sidetracked again. I was just going to read the Reformation commentary of Romans 1 through 8, which I did today. And I also read, I told you I'm getting the second volume in the mail, maybe this week, the Theoretico-Practical Theology-Prolegomena, Volume 1. We're getting Volume 2 of this by Petrus Mastricht. So I almost finished this volume today. But I'm going to put this down the lower level before I go to bed tonight. Because I don't want to get sidetracked, you know. And I'm not sure if I'll keep reading this. I just want to find out what it was about. And so that's it. As far as my diary, I ended, you know, I passed them on page for the year 2019. I ended on page 500 for the year 2019. And so, yeah. So that was my day. You know, like I said, I've been really sick. You know, I just got over a cold a couple of months ago. You know, I never have gotten colds twice in 1 year. And it got me kind of freaked because I'm thinking maybe my health is declining in my old age. Maybe I need to really get a hold of myself, you know, get on some regimen of health care, you know, eat vegetables, you know, walk every day, and do stretching, and you know, I'm just becoming a big blob who's sick all the time. You know, I don't know. But I'll close. I found this quote in the Reformation commentary. I ended today on verse 16 of Romans chapter 2. In the day when God shall judge the secrets of men by Jesus Christ according to my gospel. And this is a quote from Martin Luther, the great German reformer. Where shall we take thoughts to defend us? Only from Christ, and only in him will we find them. For if the heart of a believer in Christ accuses him and reprimands him, and witnesses against him that he has done evil, he will immediately turn away from evil and will take his refuge in Christ and say, Christ has done enough for me. He is just. He is my defense. He has died for me. He has made his righteousness my righteousness, and my sin his sin. If he has made my sin to be his sin, then I do not have it, and I am free. If he has made his righteousness my righteousness, then I am righteous now with the same righteousness as he. My sin cannot devour him, but is engulfed in the infathomable depths of his righteousness, for he himself is God who is blessed forever. Thus we can say, God is greater than our heart. The defender is greater than the accuser, immeasurably greater. It is God who is my defender. It is my heart that accuses me. It is God who is my defender. It is my heart that accuses me. End of quote. So I got a little tiny bit, a little comfort from that in my sick state, that I have to rest in the fact that I've been clothed with the righteousness of Christ, because all I see is how sinful I am. But I have to see that I am clothed with the righteousness of Christ by faith. Nothing that I have merited or earned. It's all by sovereign grace. So I just thought I'd share these thoughts with you before I go to bed. It is now 10:05 at night here in West Michigan on a Wednesday night. I hope you're having a good week. Tomorrow is a Thursday. I have nothing planned tomorrow except be sick, pray for healing, not only physical healing, spiritual healing, intellectual healing. And so I hope you're having a good week. Thank you for the comments. And until next time, bye.